Yo, what's good with y'all? What's good? Miles may or may not be through. He's in the midst of traveling right now. So we may or may not be doing phone calls. So I'm still kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with that. But be that as it may, the show must go on. The show must go on. Hold on real quick, gentlemen. Uncle Guns was good, fam. Unique 79 was good. Fat John 911, call me Jay. Manuel SV, monogamous player. Alicia and Wrecked. Boxing Plug Dave was good with you, fam. Duke Lux was good with you, Kwame Dukes. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? I heard someone put mic check in there. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can someone say, yeah, you got me? Okay, cool. All right. So today, what are we talking about? Why a woman liking you does not equate to sexual attraction. The mistake that guys make, right, is, and I've been saying this for a long time, the mistake that guys make is they believe that the course of action to take to eventually lead to a situation where sex can happen is they have to somehow, some way get the woman to like them, right? And I'm going to tell you why that backfires. Y'all remember last week, I told you guys a story of how I got invited to, a partner of mine went to this girl's house, his girlfriend's house, and she had an older sister, and I went over there with him. I met the older sister. We was making out, you know what I'm saying, kissing and all that type of shit, but she wouldn't let me smash. Then 2 days later, another one of my partners went over there with my friend, and she let him smash. Okay, the reason why she did not let me smash, because there was something about me, right, that she liked, which is why she stalled me out, but she let the other, I can't even talk. She let the other homie hit it, right? She let him hit it, but wouldn't let me hit it, because women do not have to like you to want to fuck you. Okay, let me say that shit again. Women do not have to like you to want to have sex with you. They don't. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to dislike you per se, but they don't have to like you. In fact, if you pay attention, if you really, really pay attention, even with one night stands, when you have sex with a chick you met on the first night, you have not been around that woman long enough for her to really like you. Like having a 10, 15, 20-minute conversation, that's not nearly long enough to really, really like somebody, right? You might be interested, right? But that's it. But when a woman likes you, now a woman could be sexually attracted to you, right? But if she also likes you in conjunction with that, chances are she's gonna want more than just sex, more often than not. Okay, which is why she did not let me smash, because she wanted more than just sex, right? So this is what happens sometimes when you try to get a woman to like you. It could work, but it could backfire as well. Now, another thing, well, before I continue, let me say this. For any of you that got any questions, please put a Q in the chat. Put a Q in the chat, and I'll get to you guys. So here's the thing, right? Think about all the guys in the friend zone. Every guy that's in the friend zone. Those women like that guy. There's something about that guy that they like, which is why they got him in the friend zone. Because what they could do, they could just reject them and be like, you know what, I'm not interested. I don't want to deal with you. But what happens is, if you're the type of guy, for instance, you are an entertaining conversationalist. Okay, you're very funny. You make her laugh. And what happens is a woman can begin to like you as a person. She likes your personality, but there is no sexual attraction there. There is no sexual attraction. Okay, this is why sometimes for some of you guys, if you've ever been out on more than one date with a chick, like 2 or 3 dates, and then at some point you try to have sex with her, and then she tells you, look, I don't look at you that way. I think you're cool. I like you. You're very funny, but I'm not really feeling you. This is a woman that likes you. She likes your personality, but there is no sexual attraction. There is no sexual arousal. There is no desire to have sex with you, but she likes you. So when I say why a woman like you does not equate to sexual attraction, you have to ask yourself this question. Do you want to be sexually desired by a woman, or do you want to be liked? Now, if you want to be in a relationship, then being liked, that is important. If you're talking about dealing with a woman where it's more than just sex, where you guys are actually exploring the possibility of being in a relationship sometime down the line, yes, being likable, that's very important if women are going to want to be with you when it comes to a relationship, right? Being likable. But just to have sex, no. So another thing that guys do, like, let's break this shit down, right? So you might have a guy, for instance, he's setting up a date and he asked the woman, what does she like to do, right? He asked her it seems like he's being thoughtful and considerate, right? That's what it seems like, right? But what he's really trying to do is get in good with her, right? He's trying to be likable. You know what? If I act like I care about her feelings, if I act like I'm a thoughtful, considerate, compassionate human being, she'll think I'm a cool guy and she'll like me, right? And they think by virtue of being liked, that leads to sex. Being liked has nothing to do with sexual attraction. Think about it. How many times have you guys been out and about, clubs, bars, lounges, wherever, and you saw a woman and you said to yourself, I would fuck her. If I had an opportunity to fuck her, I most definitely would. You don't even know her. You don't have to like her to have that thought. It ain't no different for women. Women don't have to necessarily like you to have sex with you. Exceptions aside, there are exceptions, right? There are exceptions, but they don't necessarily have to like you to have sex with you, especially if it's casual sex. They do not have to fucking like you. So real quick, again, Miles may or may not show up. Like I said, he's in the middle of traveling. Also, if you guys have any questions, put a Q in the chat, because right now the phone lines are not open. Maybe they will be at some point, but they're not now. So if you guys want to chop it up, here's your chance. Put some questions. Ask me anything you want to ask me. Here's the chance to do that shit right now. Let me shout out some people that came up in here a little late. Got Juice, G-Dog UK was good with you. Who else? Somebody else came up in this motherfucker. Money Mitch was good with you. I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. Hold on, what does G-Dog say? I know dudes just want to be liked and enjoy texting hellos and how are you all day. Look, let me tell you something. I don't care about being liked. I remember there was a chick that I had as a fuck buddy, right? And she wanted more than just sex. And I told her no. And it upset her. It upset her to the point where I told her, I said, look, if this is a problem for you, then we ain't got to fuck no more. We ain't got to see each other. We can go our separate ways. You know, I wish you all the luck in the world. We ain't got to do shit. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to do a motherfucking thing, right? But she still wanted to have sex. But what she ended up telling me was, I don't like you. She literally told us, she said this shit to me. I don't like you. So what would happen would be, see, prior to me and her having this conversation, when she would come by the crib or I would go by her crib, she was always hugging on a nigga, kissing on a nigga. She was always doing that type of shit. But when I said what I said to her, she said, I don't like you, right? Now, when she came by the crib, she didn't want to hug me. She didn't want to kiss on me. She didn't want to do none of that. Like, I would open the door and she would walk straight to the bedroom and say, all right, let's go. Let's go. You're not a very friendly person. This is what she said to me. You're not very friendly. Let's go. So she would show up and I would laugh at her. I would laugh because I'm like, you're acting like you got a problem with me, but yet you still fucking. To me, I laugh like I'm still doing what I want to do. You ain't got to be friendly towards me. You know what I'm saying? It's cool, right? So we would smash and she would get up and just bounce. Like prior to her getting mad at me and telling me she don't like me, she would want to talk to me and shit and be smiling all in my grill, but all that shit changed when she said she didn't like me. So although she no longer liked me as a person, she still wanted to fuck though. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just letting you know, women do not have to like you to want to fuck you. Okay, so Daryl Corbison says, not a question about the topic, but what do you think about the BET Awards massacre? I can't watch the BET Awards. Hold on, I gotta fix my camera. I can't watch that shit. The alphabet people, they didn't took over BET when it comes to the award ceremonies. You know what I'm saying? I can't watch that shit. Okay, and to me, it's more for young people than people my age anyway. But alphabet people, they didn't took control of that shit, and I don't want to be exposed to that shit. All right, so hold on real quick. So can you please give us some sexting basics? Well, here's the thing, right? This is what people got to understand about talking on the phone and texting women. The way you communicate face to face, right? It's the same shit. So if you're the type of guy where you're very witty with your words and all that type of shit, and you're very smooth and suave with your words face to face, you can do that over the phone. You can do that via text. You can do the same shit. Okay, it's just a different way of communicating. See, sexting, it just depends on what message you want to convey. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on what message you want to convey. This is what I would tell guys though. If you're the type of guy where you meet women my fucking camera's still bugging, where you meet women face to face and you don't say anything sexual, and the only time you say sexual shit to them is over the phone or via texting, you're gonna look like you're scared. You're gonna look like you don't have enough guts to do that shit face to face, and you only wait when you're over the phone where you feel safe, right? To me, I do not condone that type of shit. If God damn it, hold on, give me a second, gentlemen. Let me fix this shit. Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second. All right, I think I fixed this shit. All right. So back to what I'm saying, right? If you're the type of guy where you're very passive, very indirect, face to face, but all of a sudden over the phone, now you're more sexual. Okay, women are gonna pay attention to that shit. Hold on, give me a second, gentlemen. Women are gonna pay attention to that shit. So Dave G with the 5. He said, "What up, Miles? What up, Miles?"
Yo, what's going on?
I'm doing fine, man. Let me read this off right quick. So,
Yeah.
Dave G, I would ask what's cracking, but obviously it's the game. Big up, Zad. Big up to the chat. Your boy Miles is in the building. What's good, fam? What's good with you?
Chilling, man. Out here with the family. We in the car, getting ready to get to the hotel. You know what I'm saying?
You back in NYC?
Say again?
You back in NYC?
Oh no. We out in Florida.
Oh, you're in Florida. Okay, all right.
Yeah, man. We moving, but I just wanted to show my face real quick and let y'all know that the game ain't stopping no way. You feel me?
There you go. Appreciate that. Appreciate you
Is what it
blessing
is.
the motherfucking stream with your presence and shit.
All right. Definitely, man. But have a good show. Spit that game because they need it. You feel me?
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Peace.
All right, so let's get back to it. So Oaktown Finance says, I know every man has a different version when it comes to the vetting process. If you want a girl or just want to know how you do things when it comes to that. Me, I treat all women the same. All women the same, meaning when I very first meet women, I'll put them all in the sex category, period. We're going to have a sexual relationship. Now, you can say fuck buddy relationship, you can say sexual relationship. We're going to do that first. And if I happen to like the woman, right, which she plays a part in me liking her, right? See, let me just say this, and I hope women are listening. I just saw a video clip where a woman, she's a dating coach, where she was critiquing this guy because this guy was talking about doing 30-minute dates, $10 or less, right? And she was critiquing that. She had a problem with that, and she referred to him doing that as low effort. And my thing is, who in their right mind would give maximum effort with someone that they don't know? That you don't know what that person's true intentions are, right? Everybody is filling each other out, right? So when we talk about the vetting process, number one, see, and here's the thing. I want guys to understand why I think the way that I think, right? in my entire life, since I was a teenager all the way up until today, okay, I've never been the type of person to date, to get into relationships. Never. Not one time did I ever meet a woman or deal with a woman with the forethought of wanting to be in a relationship. It's never happened. My whole life, I've just dated for fun. I'm just having fun with these females. I'm just having fun. Now, here's the thing. There's been plenty of women that I've dealt with where I said, man, I just want to fuck. I don't want nothing else. And then she changed my mind. There was a way that she was behaving, a way that she was acting towards me to make me say, at first I was just cool with sex, but I'm kind of feeling her, right? So one time, let me tell y'all this story real quick. One time I met this young lady. And the very first time that we met, we were introduced to each other. I knew right off the bat. I said, Shorty got something. I said, there's something about Shorty that I really want to get at. I really want to get to know beyond just fucking, but I got to put her through the paces. I still got, even though I can see something in her that I'm feeling and that I want to explore beyond just sex, I still have to put her through the paces. And the reason why is because the vetting process is not just for the woman, it's for you. It's for you to police yourself, to make sure you're not jumping the gun, to make sure you're not moving too quick. So although I identified some traits in this young lady to make me say, I still had to slow my roll and put her through the paces to make sure I wasn't fucking up. So for me, right, I have never made a woman my girlfriend who didn't spend money on me. So that's another thing. So if a woman wants to get next to me beyond just sex, there has to be something that she's doing. She has to be a participant where she's going out of her way, she's campaigning and auditioning, because she says, there's something about this guy, Kerry, that I like. The sex is great, but I want more. There's something about him that I like. I want to get to know more, and I want him to get to know me beyond just sex. Okay, what is she going to do to entice me to do that? What is she going to do? If she wants me to take her out of the bedroom and spend time with her non-sexually, out on dates or whatever it is, what is she doing that's going to entice me to want to do that? There has to be, and here's the thing, and let me just say this to any woman listening. More women need to learn how to seduce men. I'm not talking about sexually. More women need to learn how to seduce men non-sexually. If you want that man's time beyond just sex, seduce that man, right? This is what I mean by that. I had a chick one time. I had set up a date. We was gonna meet at this jazz spot that I frequent, right? They had live music and a buffet and all that type of shit, right? Free food, all that, right? So I was having her meet me there. So she calls me while she's on the way. She's on the way, but she calls me and says she can't stay because she started her period. Now, whether that was true or not is inconsequential. It don't matter, right? But she calls me and she says, hey, I'm on my way. I started my period, so I can't stay, but I'll make it up to you. But since I'm down the street, I at least want to see you real quick. Right? So what ended up happening was she pulls up, we embrace, we hug and all that other type of shit. And then she bounces and she says, I'll call you in a couple days. Now, her and I hadn't had sex yet, right? I just barely met this chick. So a couple of days later, a few days later, whatever it was, she called me and she said, I'm going to cook you dinner at my place. So she basically said, I'm going to cook you a home-cooked meal. Bear in mind, we hadn't had sex yet, right? So the fact that she was willing to cook me a home-cooked meal at her spot, one, she was kind of making up for the fact that she couldn't stay when I set up the joint at the jazz spot, right? But also, she was feeling me that much to where she felt like, I'm going to have this man at my spot and I'm going to cook this man a home-cooked meal, which she did. It was dope. It was a dope night. We fucked that night in the whole nine, right? But when I say more women need to learn how to seduce men non-sexually, that could be part of it. Cook that man something. Now, I understand that some women, they're very reluctant to have men they barely met at their house. Okay, cool. God damn it. Hold on. Let me fix this fucking camera. Hold on. Give me a second. And if y'all got any other questions, I'm gonna get to all that shit. In just a moment. Just let me fix this shit, man, because this shit is getting on my goddamn nerves. All right, let me do that. Come back with this. Okay, I think I got that shit fixed. All right, cool. So again, there were women, for instance, that I had fuck buddy situations with, right? And this happened on more than one occasion, where I would go to the chick house, I would smash, and as I'm leaving, she would tell me, hey, I cooked dinner earlier in the evening. If you want, I can make you a to-go plate, right? So they would, basically get some Tupperware or whatever, put some food in there, and I would dip with the food, take that shit home, eat it, and then when I saw them again, bring their Tupperware back. So that's another way, you know what I'm saying? There's ways you can seduce man that ain't got shit to do with sex, right? That's the kind of shit that make a nigga be like, I was cool with just a fuck buddy situation, but I like what she doing. I like how she moving. Yeah, she got my attention. So hold on real quick. Let me make sure I skip out on y'all motherfucking questions and shit. Hold on real quick. All right, so the homie says, "Cause what's your take on Mellie telling her male followers that they should pay for sex?" Well, I mean, most guys are doing it indirectly anyway. Here's the reality of it. Here's the reality of it, right? If y'all remember, some of y'all probably not as old as I am, but back in the day, when we were in high school, right? The whole thing of it was this. If you were a guy, right? The whole thing of it was, can I hit that girl that I'm interested in? Can I have sex with her without spending no money or as little money as possible and without spending a whole lot of time trying to deal with her? So I want to hit it without spending a lot of time and or money, right? For women, it was about how much time can I get this man to spend with me non-sexually, and how many dates or how much money can I get this nigga to spend without fucking him, right? That was kind of the tug of war back in the day. It was that type of shit, right? Today, this is the problem, right? There is this trick hole dynamic that people are too cool with, right? It's starting to be more and more normalized where there's this trick hole dynamic, right? If you think about trick hole being a woman, right? If you're talking about like pimp lingo, hoe being a woman, the prostitute, and the trick being the guy, the John, right? There's this trick hoe dynamic that people are pushing, right? Even with relationships. A lot of relationships are trick hoe relationships. I remember Willie D Live. Willie D, member of the legendary rap group, the Ghetto Boys, right? He has a YouTube channel for those of you who don't know. He also has another channel called Ghetto Boys Reloaded, right? On the Ghetto Boys Reloaded, he was doing an interview with a former prostitute. Okay, she's married now, but she's a former prostitute. So for all you niggas talking about body counts and parabonding, here's a former prostitute that's married, right? So in the interview, she was talking about how a lot of these marriages and long-term relationships, they are trick hole relationships where the guy, he's only able to get the woman with his money. And the only reason why the woman is there is because of the money. So when old girl talking about paying for sex, number one, if you listen to Mellie Monaco, she has a lot of contradicting advice, right? Contradicting advice. So the average guy is gonna have to pay for sex some way. Either put money directly in a woman's hand or he's gonna have to wine and dine her for it. The average guy is gonna have to do that. Now that doesn't mean that it's gotta stay that way though. It don't gotta stay that way. See, I got pride. I have never paid a woman for sex. I can't do it. It could be because I've been very fortunate where I just don't gotta do that, but I can't do it. I can't. There's something about me, because to me, hold on real quick, man. I'm gonna say some shit, but I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna say it. All right, Money Miz with the 5 said respect the game. For me, this is how I look at it. I'm a very confident individual, inside and outside of the bedroom. When we talk about sexual confidence, I'm very confident in my ability to sexually satisfy a woman. So why would I give her great sex and money? Why would I do that? Shit, the way I look at it, she should be paying me for all them goddamn orgasms I just gave her. I got one nut, she got like fucking 10 or 15. No, she should be paying me. You know what I'm saying? So what I look like whining and dining a chick or spending money on a chick or giving her money for sex, when this shit right here with my motherfucking skills, man, look, that's compensation enough. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. That's just how I feel about that shit. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Y'all give me a second. Again, if y'all have any questions, put a Q in the chat. I'll get to it. And I like Mellie Monaco, but look, she be setting thirst traps. Like if you pay attention, I'm not sub to her, but because I watch some of her shorts, when you have an autoplay list on YouTube, her shit comes up all the time. So on the community portion of YouTube, she always has these pictures with those eyes of hers, like she's looking at you, like some bedroom eyes and shit. And she always put those pictures up. When you get into the comment section, all the simps, you're so beautiful, you're wifey material. And I'm like, how the fuck is she wifey material because she cute? And I do think she cute, right? But how the fuck are you wifey material just because you look good? Like that shit don't make no goddamn sense to me. Just because a chick look good, she wifey material? Hell no. Hell no. But I bet y'all she be getting it in though. She can say what she want, but she be getting it in. I know she do. She come across like a freak to me. She just don't know though. She just don't know. Real quick. Again, if y'all have any questions, put a Q in the chat. I'll get to the questions. But back to the whole vetting process, right? And I know Renee, she in a talk. Men can't handle a real woman seducing them. Well, this is what I would say, Renee. A lot of guys, they get too caught up. They get too caught up when they're dealing with a woman and a woman does come across like, she's a seductress. Not even a word, seductress. Right? Y'all know what I'm trying to say, right? So a lot of guys, they can't handle that and they fall for chicks quick. Which the vetting process is to kind of police you from doing that. Like going back to the woman where I said we got introduced to each other, and I knew something was, I said, there's something about this chick. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm a fucker. But beyond just fucking her, I'm gonna give her an opportunity to show me what it is about her because I was super interested, right? And I ended up marrying her, right? We ended up getting married later on, right? So I knew there was something about her, right? But at the same time, I still had to put her through the fuck buddy paces. And then eventually what started to happen was she would call me up and she would offer to take me out. And that's how she got my attention, right? To kind of deal with her on a non-sexual tip was her offering to take me out. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. So once that started to happen, I was like, all right, I like her, right? So then one thing led to another, and eventually we got married and shit. Let's see here. So V-Win says, how do I gain sexual confidence when I'm not as sexually experienced? Let me tell you something. V-Win. The very first time I had sex, I was not nervous. I was a teenager, of course, but the very first time I was not nervous. I had watched so much porn. I felt like I was prepared for the shit, right? So I wasn't nervous. In fact, the young lady that I had sex with for the first time she did not know that I hadn't had sex before. And I didn't tell her until later on. So when we first started dealing with each other sexually, she had no clue that she was the first. Right. And the reason why, and I end up, and the funny thing about it, I remember thinking to myself after I had sex with her like 3 or 4 times, I said, I think I'm going to tell her that she was my first. But I knew she wasn't going to believe me. And the reason why I knew she wasn't going to believe me, because the way I was fucking her, you know what I'm saying? So although it was my first time, I came out the gate, you know what I'm saying, hitting homers, you know what I'm saying? So when I finally did tell her that she was the first, she didn't believe me. I had to convince her that I wasn't lying. You know what I'm saying? So hold on real quick. So, and I'll get back to your question, Wayne. I'll get back to your question in a minute. So William Kim with 10 says, I probably spend more money on super chats donations than I do dating, and meet probably an average of 4 new women in person every week, if not more, showing more appreciation from my house. Appreciate you. So y'all got some questions. I see them. I'm gonna get to them. Just give me a second. I'm trying to separate the questions so I can get to them one by one. All right, so bear with me just a moment. I'm going back. All right, so hold on. So again, the very first time I had sex, I was not nervous, and based on how she was responding to what I was doing to her, that did give me confidence, right? Because I never had sex before, so that gave me a newfound sense of confidence because of this particular thing that I'm doing that I've never done before, right? But prior to me even having sex with her, I was already confident, right? Which led to me talking to her about sex, which led to sex, right? So it didn't take me to have a bunch of sexual experience for me to be confident. Now, of course, being that she was the first chick I had sex with, I had to come to the realization at some point that not every woman is going to respond exactly the same way she was responding. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn that, right? But my point is, what I was doing to her and how she was responding to me, that made me want to have sex even more. Like, shit, damn, I want to have sex with women simply because I want to see if I can replicate what I did to her to other women, right? So that just made me get out there more and just get at more women like that. So I didn't need to have 20 sexual partners to become sexually confident. I just needed one. And I often talk to guys about this. Being sexually confident is not just about the act of having sex. It's not simply about just that, right? It's also about your ability to express your sexuality, to actually talk to women. So an example would be if I met a woman and we're talking for 10, 15 minutes, and I start talking about sex, and I start talking about the shit I want to do to her, and I start talking to her about the stuff that she likes, that's also part of being sexually confident. It's my ability to talk to her about it and not feel embarrassed, not feel shame, not feel funny about it. Right. And this is why a lot of people have bad sex because they don't talk. Right. So even when you have sex for the first time with a woman you just met, talk to her. And I'm not saying like talk to her in a dirty way per se. I mean, that too, but talk to her about what she likes versus what she don't like. Pay attention to how her body is responding and then speak on that. Being sexually confident also encompasses that as well. So my question to you is, are you afraid to talk about sex to women? Are you afraid to tell women what you like? Are you afraid to ask them what they like? If the answer is yes, that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. You can't be afraid, fam. Hold on, gentlemen. Give me a second. Okay, Joe Blast with the 5. Respect, K's. I appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you. All right, so there's some questions I want to get to real quick. So give me a second. Unique 79 got a question. All right. I'm at a point where even though women will say they will meet me, I can tell there's a lack of interest underneath, so I decide not to have the date with them. Has that happened to you? Well, y'all gotta shoot me, man. I got this never-ending cough that never goes away. I very rarely offer dates to women I hadn't had sex with. Excuse me, let me say that again. I very rarely offer dates to women I have not had sex with yet. Okay, and let me explain why. My reluctance to offer dates to women I hadn't had sex with yet is not because I'm worried about a woman using me. I don't care about that. I'm not worried about that, right? The reason why I'm reluctant to offer women dates that I hadn't had sex with yet isn't necessarily because of the sex per se, right? Now, it does matter to me whether or not a woman is actually sexually attracted to me. That does matter, because I don't want to deal with a woman that doesn't look at me in that way. My thing is, I'm picky about who I spend time with in public. I'm not judging you guys that take women out on dates. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, for me, I'm super fucking picky about who I have in my physical presence in a public setting. For me to have a woman in my physical presence, and especially more than once, I have to like her. I have to really like her as a person. Now, it doesn't mean that I necessarily view her as girlfriend material per se, but I have to like her as a person. I have to like her company. I have to like her conversation. I have to like the vibe. I have to like her. So the reason why I said I very rarely offer dates to women that I hadn't had sex with yet is simply because I don't need to. You know what I'm saying? And, like I said, I've been fortunate where I don't have to do dates. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can meet chicks and we can fuck right away. You know what I'm saying? So what makes me offer a woman a date isn't because we had sex. Like, I've heard guys say, oh, after we had sex, then I'll take a woman out. That doesn't guarantee that I'm going to take her out simply because we had sex. I still got to like you. There's got to be something about you that I like, that I don't mind you being around me, especially in public, because here's the thing. If you take the wrong woman out in public, there are horror stories of chicks who just act the fool. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know them. You don't know their temperament, right? So you might have a chick who's a lush. She drinks a lot, and you got this drunk ass chick out on a date with you, acting like a fool, talking to the waiter or whoever, the bartender, talking to people crazy and shit. I think about shit like that. But I'm gonna answer your question. Let's get back to it. Kind of went in a roundabout way with it, right? But so you say, is there a lack of interest? Well, here's the thing, right? This is why Unique and anyone else listening, this is why part of the lack of interest could be that she's just not interested. There's nothing you can do about that. But also part of the lack of interest could be that you haven't really captured her attention. The curiosity isn't there. The intrigue isn't there. The anticipation isn't there. I'll tell you a story that might help you out, Unique. So there's a young lady that I work with, or used to work with rather, right? And she's the type of chick, she's very sexual. Like, she's out there. Like, she let people know, yeah, I love the fuck. That's what I do. Blah, blah, blah. So she's that type of chick where she don't care. You know what I'm saying? That people know that she get it in, right? So oftentimes when we would be at work, she would talk about her sexual exploits, all her Tinder dates. You know what I'm saying? She's the type of chick, if she's feeling you, she gonna fuck right away. You know, she's that type of chick. So she was talking about this one guy that she met on Tinder. She was sexually interested in this guy at first. What made her lose interest in him was he talked too much. He did too much talking. Okay, and I made videos talking about how over communication can kill attraction, because there has to be a little mystery to you. Okay, it doesn't mean that you go out of your way to hide or conceal yourself. You don't have to tell women about your fucking life in a week. And that's what he was doing. He was having multiple conversations with her where he was just talking about everything about him. So when it came time for them to go out, she canceled the date. Or she no longer wanted to go out with him because she said, I know everything about this guy already. And she said the words, there is no mystery to him, right? See, the mystery part is the intrigue. It's the anticipation. I look forward to seeing this guy. He has my curiosity. He has my interest. I look forward to seeing him because I feel like there's so much I don't know that I want to know. So there's anticipation. But if you talking, tell the chick all about you and shit, where's the anticipation? So I don't know if that's your situation, Unique, where maybe you over-communicated, or maybe you didn't say what you needed to say, right? Because again, when we talk about why a woman liking you does not equate to sexual attraction, just because the conversation is friendly and pleasant, if there's no desire on the woman's part, like if there's no curiosity about you sexually, then you could have a woman that may lose interest. But also, do y'all know that a woman will reject you if you take too long to bring up sex? Y'all know that? There are women out here, if you take too long to bring up sex, there are women who will reject you. Because contrary to popular belief, not all women want to get to know every man that they date outside of just sex. Some women are cool with just the sex. So if they're talking to you, but you're taking too long to get to that point, they're like, you know what? I'm not interested. So I don't know what the case would be, but if you set up a date, be a man of your word. Be consistent. Stick to the date. Now, if she flakes on you or whatever, it is what it is. But if you set up a date that you guys mutually agreed to, show up to that date. This is why if you set up a date at the places you frequent, you don't care if she don't show up or not, because you're still going to have fun, because this is the place you normally go to. You know what I'm saying? Something to think about. Okay, give me a second. So Denzel King says, any examples of a direct approach at a bar or lounge? Bro, just walk up and talk to the woman. Y'all making this complicated. Just walk up and introduce yourself to a woman. That's all you got to do. See, a lot of guys, the reason why you have issues is simply because you're just afraid to tell the woman what it is you want to do. That's what it boils down to. Just tell that woman what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Just tell her what you want to do. See, to me, this is what don't make no sense to me. If you are at a bar or a lounge, okay, this is just my personal opinion, why would you... If you are at a bar or a lounge, why would you attempt to get a woman's phone number only to offer her a date at another time? To go to a bar or a lounge. Let's run that back. If you are at a bar or a lounge, why would you get that woman's number only to offer her a date later down the road, a week or so later, only to go to a bar or a lounge? You're already at one. So whatever you would do or say on a first date at a bar or a lounge, do it now. Do it now. You got her at one. Do it now. Just be wasting time with these chicks, man. Just let women know what you want to do. What are some tips for a man to be sexually confident in the bedroom? Again, it's number one, like for me, I'll use myself as an example. Okay, I'm a very attentive lover. Okay, I pay attention to a woman's body, right? I don't care for the woman I'm just fucking. I pay attention to every fucking thing, right? Everything, all her mannerisms, the way she's moving, if she's gyrating into it, or if she's trying to get away from it, I'm paying attention to every fucking thing, right? So part of being sexually confident is knowing yourself. You have to know yourself sexually. Okay, this is why I tell guys, right? This is why I tell guys, when you first start having sex with a new woman, you never have sex in your favorite positions. Don't. This is why I ask women what their favorite positions are. Because if they have a favorite position that's not my favorite position, I'm going to put her in those positions first so she can get hers, right? So again, it comes back to opening your mouth, conversating, talking to these females. Just let us know. We will tell you yes or no. Yes, it's that, gentlemen, it's that simple. Give women the opportunity to get the information. Give them the information so they can make an informed decision as to whether or not they're down to do what you're down to do. There is no shortage of women that are down to engage in casual sex. There are a lot of women, I'm not saying all, but there are enough women out there that are engaging in casual sex encounters where all you got to do is just be honest and give women an opportunity to make that decision. Guys don't want to be told no. That's the problem. I want to be told no. I want to be told no right away. Tell me no now so I can stop talking to you and go talk to her. You know what I'm saying? I'll be on that. The homie Jay Roman in the building. People love making problems for themselves. Stop complicating things. One of the worst words we learned was hi. First words, my bad. First words we learned was yeah, hi. How you doing? How you doing, miss? You having a good night? All right, well, your night is about to get better. Right, tell a chick that shit. Ask her if she's having a good night, and she says, yeah, so far so good. Tell her night is about to get better. She's going to look at you like, huh? What do you mean? Yeah, your night's about to get better. She might ask you, so how so? Well, it just so happens that I got some free time later on this evening, and I want you to occupy that free time. Now, a woman might look at you and laugh and walk away. So Or a woman might look at you and be like, oh, okay, all right. You got my curiosity. Okay, tell me more, right? And then you just keep talking about what it is you're trying to do. It ain't that hard, guys. You guys make it hard. And you can't be worried about, hold on. Another thing, you can't be worried about people, because people do be worried about, well, what if somebody hears me? I want somebody to hear me. They might learn something. If they hear me talking to a young lady, they might learn something from me. I want them to hear me. I want them to hear me. There's no shame in my game. And that's another thing. If you're worried about people hearing you or listening to you, that means you have no confidence in what you're saying to the woman. Because if you were supremely confident in what you're saying, you wouldn't give a fuck who heard. Come on now, we got to think about that shit. I'm getting these questions. I'm gathering them up. So give me a second. I'm snatching them up. That might have, was that it? Oh, there's another one right there. Hold on real quick. I see them. Just give me a second. I see them. I'm gathering them up. Oh, hell yeah, I'm done. Oh, look, let me tell y'all something. If a woman wants me to look at her and say, damn, I like shorty. Yeah, a good way to do that is to call me up and invite me out on your dime. On your dime. Now, I'm not always going to say yes. Okay, if I got a story to go with that. I'm not always going to say yes. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why I would tell a woman no if she wanted to pay for me and shit. There was a young lady I met, right? It was a Friday night. I met her at a nightclub. I tried to take her home that night. She wasn't with it. Right? Now, she was interested, but she wasn't trying to do anything that particular night. But she was interested, right? So we exchanged contact information, and I basically told her, hey, when you're ready to make that happen, hit me up, right? But when I gave her the number, she called me right then and there and said, you have my number too, right? So cool. So I called her the very next day. It was a Saturday, where I called her Saturday. And I basically told her that, hey, I got some free time this evening. We should link up. And this is what she said to me. She said, well, right now, I'm about to go out to dinner with some of my homegirls. Why don't you join us and I'll pay for you? Right? This is what she told me. See, a lot of guys would have said yes. I'm like, no. I'm not doing that. Number one, 24 hours ago, I tried to take you home, right? Right? I'm talking about fucking you, right? 24 hours ago, I'm literally talking about fucking you. So if I go out with you, even though you're paying, right? Because she's going to dinner at some seafood restaurant somewhere. If I go out with you, basically what I'm allowing you to do is to take the lead. And basically you're taking my agenda and you're putting it to the side and you're putting your agenda as far as seeing me non-sexually at the forefront. I told her no. I said, nah, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass. Thanks, no thanks. Then I told her, once you get done with your girls, if you're still interested, give me a call. And that's exactly what she did. And I ended up going up to her house after that. But no, I'm controlling shit. I'm gonna dictate shit. I ain't gonna let her run that. You know what I'm saying? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? Because that, to me, that would have been a bad mistake, right? Because basically, you have to understand, if you're dealing with a woman and she's offering already, number one, to me, that's a red flag. Okay, I just met you a day ago and you offer me, you want me to meet your friends? And you want me to sit at a dinner table with you and your homegirl and I just met you a day ago? No, that don't even make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to me, that was a red flag. But also, chances are a woman who is doing that, she's not interested in just fucking, okay? Because number one, women don't even like spending money on you niggas like that. Women would rather give you niggas some pussy than spend money on you. You know what I'm saying? So for her to be that quick to want to spend money to me, I'm like, that don't make no sense, right? And also the fact that she was willing to do that, have me meet her friends. Like, why would you? No woman in her right mind would have this strange guy that she barely even know herself around her close friends. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that was all types of red flags going off. So I told her no. You know what I'm saying? Now later on, you know, after we dealt with each other for a little while, she ended up taking me out and spending money and all that type of shit, which was cool. And we dealt with each other for quite a while after that, right? But you know. So hold on, let me get to these questions. I saw them pop them up. Okay, so he says, is it a turnoff for a woman to find out that you are a student of the game? Well, if you want to shoot yourself in the foot, be out on the first date and tell a woman, yeah, I listened to this person, I listened to this person. Women don't want to hear that shit. Like I remember there was and I don't remember who told the story, but there was a guy out on a date with this young lady, and he asked her, did she know who Kevin Samuels was? Like, why are you even talking about that YouTube shit out on the first date? Why are you talking about that? Why are you talking about YouTube niggas? You know what I'm saying? You should not be talking about no other nigga but yourself out on a date. You should not be telling women that you get consultations. Don't do none of that shit. Don't do none of that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there are going to be some women who look at you with the side eye. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with getting coaching and consultations, but you don't want to be out telling a woman, yeah, before we went out tonight, I called up this guy that's coaching me for some advice. She gonna look at you like, huh? So now she's wondering, the shit that you're saying to me, is it really you? Or are you saying some shit that someone told you to fucking say? You know what I'm saying? So no, don't do that shit. No, do not. Do not talk about that. Talk about you and only you. All right, so hold on real quick. How do you become more sexually attractive? Well, here's the thing, right? I mean, we all know that your overall physical appearance plays a role in it. It's not just about genetics, how you physically look. It's not, we all know that if you're a certain height, you're going to get attention. If you work out in good shape, women are going to notice you more. Now, that doesn't guarantee that shit going to work to your advantage, right? Because you still got to talk to the woman. See, the problem with a lot of guys, this is why I say a lot of guys have a remedial understanding of attraction, because your behavior, how you act matters. It really matters a lot to these women, right? The only reason, rather, that how you behave might not be that important is if a woman is instantaneously sexually attracted to you. Like she is seduced by your look. Like she's the type of chick, she comes up to you and tells you, man, you're so fine, da, 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 da. You can get it tonight if you want it, right? If she's throwing a pussy at you, right? And you really ain't said nothing to her for her to do all of that, that's probably the only time where you can get away with not being sharp when it comes to how you act. I remember I had this chick that I used to work with back in the day, many, many, many years ago. She told me one time, we was talking, and she said, Carrie, if a guy is fine enough or handsome enough, I'll give him a little room to be a little goofy. I'll give him a little more room than the average guy, right? So sometimes that matters, but behaviors matters. In fact, behaviors matter just as much, if not more, than how you actually look, because being a handsome man really doesn't do anything for a woman sexually. I need to break this down. Being handsome or good looking, yeah, you're good to look at, but it really doesn't guarantee that a woman is going to have a memorable, pleasurable sexual experience with you just because you're 6 feet tall, or just because you look good or whatever. You know what I'm saying? None of that guarantees a woman that you're going to sexually satisfy her. So the only thing that a woman has to go on as to whether or not you might be a guy that can sexually satisfy her, where she won't regret add another body to her body count, is the way that you act. The way that you act speaks volumes. This is why women will tell you that confidence is a sexy trait in a man. They'll tell you that confidence is a sexy trait. And the reason why confidence is a sexy trait, because being confident speaks volumes of how you view yourself. How you view yourself. So if you are a confident man, okay, and women are talking to you, that's going to go a long way in how they actually perceive you or think of you. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So he says, is women at work a no-go? I would say avoid that. I would say avoid. For now, I've had sex with women at work, okay? The reason why I don't like having sex with women at work, because they talk too much. I just find it funny that women always say they want a guy who's discreet. But if you have sex with a woman at work, two things. If you have sex with a chick at work, If you suck in bed, if you are horrible, there's going to be other women that know about you. She's going to talk to somebody about that, right? And if you're great in bed. Now, the only reason that a woman might not say nothing if you're good in bed is if she likes you more than just the sex and she actually wants to date you for real, she might be more reluctant to say anything because she don't want chicks to try and fuck you, right? Because she's trying to claim the dick and shit. But if a chick is having sex with you, she don't really look at you as anyone that she's going to take seriously, and you fucking the shit out of her, chances are she's going to tell at least one person that she work with, and then that person's going to tell somebody, then before you know it, everybody going to fucking know y'all fucking, and it ain't because of you, it's because she did this. So I would just say be mindful. Also, another problem that I have with a lot of guys to try to get at women at work is guys try and turn their job into their personal fucking harem, where you're trying to fuck everybody. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, now, if you can pull it off and you don't get fired or nothing like that, do what you do. But the problem that I've noticed with some of my male coworkers in the past is they be lying to these chicks. Like where I used to work at, right, it's a campus. There's multiple buildings, right? So you might have a chick that work in building number 3 that you fucking. You work in building number 1, she work in number 3. You fucking a chick in building 1, 2, and 3. So what happens is these women don't know that you're fucking multiple women. They think they're the only one. So what happens is one of these chicks from one building or whatever, they'll come over to your building and start talking to you. Then here's this chick right here that sit right next to you that you fucking. Now you got these two chicks acting funny with each other, all because of you handle shit wrong. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know how to be honest with these women, and let them know that they're not the only woman. Because you got to tell chicks you work with, hey, look, there's going to be other women I'm dealing with. Don't be tripping. If you're dealing with other dudes, I ain't going to be tripping. I'm not going to say nothing to you. I'm not going to act funny with him. I'm not going to act funny with you. Do your thing. But we need to respect boundaries. Meaning, if we're fucking, there's no reason for you to come to my fucking cubicle and be talking to me about what we going to do this weekend. Chick, we'll do that shit away from campus. Like, text me or call me while we at work. Let's keep that shit professional. Let's not be talking about and playing kissy face and grab ass at work. No, keep that shit professional. Fuck around and get fired that way, right? So, hold on real quick. Alicia Rex says, how do I manage neediness? Why neediness turn? Oh, so you're needy? Well, number one, let me tell y'all something. If you're being needy with a woman that you have yet to have sex with, what most women will think to themselves is, he's being this needy and this clingy. I hadn't even put it on him yet. If I have sex with this dude, he's gonna become a stalker, right? Because being neediness, a lot of times, that's like a prerequisite for stalker energy and shit. Okay, the type of dude that if a chick break up with you, you won't let her go easily. Okay, you keep hounding her and sweating her and shit like that. So being neediness is also, it speaks volumes of your lack of confidence. Okay, you also lack self-assuredness. Okay, you're not comfortable being by yourself. Okay, you got to have a woman up under you all the time. No woman in her right mind wants a man who has to have her all up under him all the time, right? You know what I'm saying? So that neediness shit, yeah, that'll get you rejected real quick. So big BP, I'm gonna say BP. Okay, what to do if another dude try to holler at my girl while I'm with her? Is that disrespectful to me as a man? Bro. Number one, guys, they're very rarely, it happens, but guys are very rarely gonna holler at your girl with you right there. Now, if you go to the bathroom or you walk away, they may try to holler at your girl there. My thing is, let me tell you something. My ex, let's say we were out together somewhere, right? And if a guy tried to holler at her and I tried to get all upset, she would lose respect for me. She would be turned off by the fact that I'm all in my motherfucking feelings about some dude trying to holler at her. Especially if she was the type of chick, if I would have tried to fight a dude, she would have immediately left the relationship like, I'm done with you. Right? Now, I've never tried any of that goofy shit, but she was the type of chick, she didn't play that type of shit. All that jealousy shit, trying to fight dudes and getting into arguments. Again, I've never done any of that. But she was the type of chick where if I would have, she would have been like, I don't want to be with you no more, right? So here's the thing. When a woman is trying to, when a guy is trying to holler at your woman, let it go down. Okay, just peep what she's doing. Because see, that guy doesn't owe you anything. She's the one that owes you all the respect. That other guy, he don't got to respect you. He don't know you. He don't owe you. But that woman right there, so if she's being hollered at, is she being polite or is she entertaining it? Okay, let me tell you the difference. Is she being polite or is she entertaining it? Because just because a woman is in a relationship and a guy's trying to holler at her, that doesn't mean she got to be mean to the guy. Get the fuck away from me. I got a man. She ain't got to be all like that. Okay, a woman can be getting hollered at, and you be right there, a couple of feet away in the bathroom, whatever, and she knows she's being hollered at. But her thing is, there's no need for me to be rude, right? Because she know I'm not gonna do anything with this dude, right? So she ain't got to be rude. Now, if the dude is being pushy or he's crossing boundaries, then peep what she does. Peep what she does. Cause like let's say you overhear your girl talking to a nigga and she don't know. Like let's say you went to the bathroom and a dude start hollering at her, but she don't know that you're standing right behind her. And let's say a guy says to her, damn, I just saw your man go to the bathroom and it's a damn shame that you got a man, girl. If you ain't have a man, I'll take you home right now and fuck the shit out you. And let's say she says, ooh, that sounds, ooh, you kind of turning me on, but no, I got a man. Now you need to look at her like, well, what the fuck you mean? That's kind of turning you on, right? So pay attention to what she is doing. Not so much the guy. As long as the guy isn't touching her, right? Now, if the guy's touching her and she's allowing it, again, she's entertaining it. But if the guy goes too far with it and she checks him, you got yourself a good girl right there, man. At least in that moment. Because you don't know what she be doing when you ain't around. Right, so Manny Money says, what are your thoughts on when to call a chick after getting the number? Also, would you text a girl, are you busy before you call? Okay, bro. All right, let me talk to you. Number one, I don't get women's phone numbers. I haven't done that in 20 plus years. I don't get a woman. Now, if a woman wants to give me her phone number, I'll take it. But I don't ask for a woman's phone number. I give women my phone number, right? That's one. But I told you a story just a short while ago, Manny. I don't know if you were listening, where I gave a woman my number. She called me basically saying, you have my number too. I called her 24 hours later, the very next day, less than 24 hours. It was a Friday when I met her. I called her that Saturday, saw her that night. So my thing is, call women when you want to call them. If you do have her number, call when you want to call. All of this wait a week shit, all of this pretend like you busy shit, man, if you're dealing with a woman who is actually attracted to you, you can't call soon enough. Look, I've exchanged contact information with women and called them the same day. Like, I might have met a chick at 11 o'clock in the morning. We exchanged contact information. By 8 o'clock that night, I'm calling her. Same day. And she's excited to hear from me, right? If a woman is feeling you or she's interested in you, man, you can't call soon enough, right? Now, don't be needy with it, though, right? Now, would I text a girl, are you busy? No. Why would I do that? Why would I text her if she's busy for her to tell me no and then for me to call? I'm going to do what I want to do. If I want to call, I'm going to call. If she busy, guess what she going to do? Not answer the phone. Okay, or I've had women where I've called and they text me, sorry, I can't talk right now. I'll call you later. And if she calls you later, cool. If she don't, no big deal. But yeah, you don't text a woman, are you busy, bro? Just hit them up. If she answers, she answers. If she don't, she don't. All right, so real quick, Hen Dog 1 with the 5. Just wanted to continue to support the channel. Keep dropping that fire game that you do and helping man out. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. Alicia and Rack with the 7. Thank you, teacher. Appreciate that. Hold on real quick, because there's a lot of fucking comments that I did not see. I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. I'm trying to get to them all. Y'all got to give me a moment. But also, let me just say this about giving women my number. Let me just say this. Okay, this is what guys got to understand. Whether you're getting a woman's number or giving a woman your number, make sure she knows what you're trying to do. Make sure. Like an example would be this. Me personally, again, I'm not really one for dates. It doesn't mean that I'll never do it again. I've done it in the past. It don't mean I'll never do it. It's not something that I do frequently, right? So let's say for the sake of argument, I see a young lady that I believe is physically appealing to me, right? Let's say I actually want to offer her a date, right? Before I even approach her, I'm already going to know where I want to take her or where I want to meet her at. I'm already going to know this. I'm going to know where I want to take her, where I want to meet her at. I'm going to know more or less the day and the time that I want to do this on. So let's say for a sake of example, like we're talking about today, right? Saturday, right? So let's say I got something I want to do Monday. Like let's say there's this bar that plays live music, right? And my plan is to take her there on Monday. Before I even approach her, I'm gonna notice what I want to do. So when I approach her and I'm talking to her, at some point, I'm gonna let her know that I'm interested in seeing her again this coming Monday around this time at this spot. Hey, there's a little jazz spot. They got some live music. I'm interested in meeting you there, taking you there, right? So I'm already going to let her know exactly what my plans are. Now, if Monday doesn't work for her, or if that time doesn't work for her, if she is interested, we're going to hash that out right then and there. Well, Monday doesn't work, maybe Tuesday. So we're going to hash it out. And then once we hash it out, and once she says, I would like that, now it makes sense to exchange contact information. Now it makes sense to do that. It makes no sense for me. This is just me personally. For me to talk to a woman about a bunch of bullshit, get her number, call her, talk to her about some more bullshit, and then, because this is what a lot of guys do, you will offer a date. And then when a woman says, okay, you're not prepared to even let her know where the date is. Oh, yeah, so you're down? You're down to go on a date? Let me call you back. Because you have no place to go, you have no date or time that you're free, that you want to basically invite her to go with you, right? You're not prepared. So for me, if I'm going to exchange contact information, she's going to know exactly what I want to do. And the only reason we are exchanging contact information is to stay in touch. So when that day comes, I'm going to confirm that, hey, we still going to do this at this time? You still going to meet me there? All right, cool. That's it. Guys be wasting time. I don't want a woman's number to just talk to her. I don't want to just talk to her. If I'm going to talk to her on the phone, it's going to be with a purpose, for a reason. And she going to know what that reason is beforehand. So hold on real quick. I know there's some more questions that popped up in this motherfucker. Okay, hold on. I see the questions. Some of them I've kind of already answered. I really don't want to repeat myself and shit. Give me a second. Seeing the questions. Again, if you got a question, put a Q in the chat. We're going to get right to it. Just give me a second, though. So I'm trying to answer all of you guys' questions, because I know a lot of times when me and Miles is on and we doing phone calls, we don't always get to the questions. So I'm trying to give you guys some one-on-one attention today. Right, that's what I'm trying to give you today, some attention and shit, where I can actually answer some of these questions. I think I answered that question. Okay, hold on. I answered that one. Okay, give me a second, gentlemen. Okay, I think we did that one. We did that one. Did that one. We did that one. Okay, we did that one. Give me a second. Okay. So he says, pay attention to red flags. Is that correct? Look, let me tell you something. And I talked about this before, okay? And I think people lose sight of the fact that dating should be fun. People take dating too seriously. And you putting too much pressure on yourself, and you putting too much pressure on the people that you're dealing with. Now, I understand that some people, they're looking to be in relationships, they're looking to be married. I get all that. Nothing wrong with that. Me personally, I've never dated for that reason. Of course, I've been married, I have children. So it's not that I'm opposed to any of that. I just date for fun. I don't take myself that seriously. I don't put pressure on myself. And I don't put pressure on a young lady either. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm going to let her know what I'm about, and she can decide whether or not she wants to partake in that. But I'm not going to shame her if she says no. I'm not going to give her attitude or act funny with her because she say no. I'm like, all right, shorty, well, hey, good luck to you. You have a good one. I hope you find what you're looking for. I'm going to be extremely pleasant. When I deal with women, my mood don't change like that. So if I'm talking to a young lady and she rejects me, my mood stays exactly the same, very chipper and upbeat, right? If she's interested in having sex or whatever it is, I don't get super excited. My mood still stays the same. It don't change like that. Women that I just met, they don't have the power to make my emotions fluctuate like that. But a lot of guys, women do have power to make your emotions fluctuate by just telling you no. And it shouldn't be that easy. Okay, and this, if a woman can make your emotions fluctuate by telling you no, imagine what a woman can do who you actually care about. You know what I'm saying? Imagine what she can do with your emotions, right? Pay attention to that shit. All right, so he says, pay attention to the red flags. Okay, let me just say this. Okay, I kind of got off the beaten path a little bit. When you very first meet people, right? Compatibility. Compatibility literally means existing in harmony without conflict. So when you're talking to people, when you're meeting people for the first time, that's what it's about. Can we exist in a harmonious fashion without any fucking conflict? That's what it's about. If we can exist in harmonious fashion without any conflict and there's mutual interest, we can move forward with seeing each other again. And then once we are in each other's physical presence again, are we existing in harmony without conflict? If the answer is yes, we can move forward with seeing each other again. The red flags come when people are moving in such a way that don't seem quite right. You know what I'm saying? That don't make sense to you, right? Again, I'll go back to the shorty that asked me to meet her girlfriends, at dinner and shit. I just met you a day ago. You want me around your girlfriends already? That, to me, that's a red flag, right? So now, hold on real quick. So he says, should you set up a date more than a week in advance? And what should you do in between time of meeting her on the date? For context, she does have a shortage to take care of. You mean a kid? Well, that's her problem, not your problem. So my thing is, set up a date as soon as possible. Like, here's the thing. The only rules of dating should be your rules. Whatever your rules are. Fuck what society says. Fuck what society says. If you I could meet a young lady, right? Let's say I'm at a grocery store. I'm grocery shopping. She grocery shopping. I'm not gonna want to talk to her for too long because both of us got shit we got to do. We're there to do a task. So if I'm talking to a young lady at a grocery store, let's say it's today. What time is it? 1:43 in the afternoon. I'm at the grocery store shopping. If I know I don't have anything to do tonight, I'll offer a date tonight. A date don't got to be a week in advance. A date could be, you can offer a date the same day you meet a woman. You can offer a date the same weekend, a day later, the same day. Just do what you want to do. Look, you'll be surprised if you think outside the box and you stop going by what society says. You'll be surprised how down a lot of women would be for how you move because they're not used to that. How many women do you personally know that were offered a date the same day they met a guy? Hey, look, I got some free time later on this evening. In fact, I was gonna go here. Why don't you meet me there? You'll be surprised if a woman ain't got nothing to do, she might meet you there, right? Or even if she got something to do, if she's feeling you, she might say, well, the other guy that offered me a date, he's cool, but I'm much more interested in seeing this guy again. So she'll flake on that other guy for you. You know what I'm saying? Although that other guy probably known her for 2 weeks, you just met her. You know what I'm saying? But you'll be surprised how shit worked that way. But you set up when you set up a date, the only time you should set up a date more than a week in advance is if you're trying to set it up and you guys' schedule isn't jiving. You know what I'm saying? So the earliest time you guys have time where both of you could be available is a week or longer out, then cool, that would make sense then. Like if you're going out of town and you ain't gonna be around for a while, if you're going out of town, hey, well, when you get back, let's set up a date for da, right? Now, as far as what you should do after you meet her, see, a lot of guys, y'all feel compelled to keep in touch. Oh, let me keep in touch. Let me text her every now and again. Let me call her and check up on her. You ain't got to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to do none of that. And if shorty lose desire to want to meet up with you because you haven't been calling her, then she ain't really feeling you like that. Because here's the reality of it. If you're single, you shouldn't be dealing with just one person. I'm not saying you got to be fucking everybody, but as a guy, you should be dating more than one woman. So but y'all know how many times, man, I've given chicks my number and they've either texted me or called and I forgot to call them back. Like literally, I might look up and 3-4 days then pass and I'm like, oh shit, shorty text me. Shorty called me. Damn, I forgot to call her back. And the reason why is because I'm dating other women. I'm really out here doing shit. So I just forgot, you know what I'm saying? And it could be that my desire to want to deal with her wasn't as strong as my desire to want to deal with these other women. It could be that too, but I literally forgot, you know what I'm saying? Or it slipped my mind. So women are out here, it slipped their mind too, you know what I'm saying? Because they're dealing with multiple people, or maybe your interaction with them you didn't leave an indelible impression on her where you're memorable. Look, let me tell y'all something. When you first meet a chick and she's already telling her friends, I met this guy today. Damn, this guy, he said some shit to me that just had me thinking. So there are women who will literally tell their friends that they met this guy an hour ago because what you said to them left such an indelible impression, they can't get you off their motherfucking mind. And that's the easy part of having women want to see you quickly is because they're like, I'm thinking about this guy I just met. I can't get him off my motherfucking mind. So hold on, let me see here. There's some more questions. Give me a second. LeBron with the 15. So much respect for the game. Y'all continually spit. Man, appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you, dog. Appreciate that. All right, so William Kim says, if I met a girl for a drink and she's not willing to come straight to my house for the second date, and she says, I want to meet out somewhere so I can get to know you more, it's time to charge her. Well, here's the thing. Hold on. This is what I would say to you. Once you jump out the window, right? When I say jump out the window with something, once you tell a woman that you want to do something, and she says, no, let's do this instead, you have to charge her. You have to. Okay, and the reason why you have to charge her is because if you don't, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, she's gonna realize all I gotta do is tell this guy no. And he will accommodate me. He'll acquiesce, he'll capitulate, he'll do what I wanna do. So once a woman figures that she can control the dynamic between you two by telling you no, let's do this instead, okay, what's gonna eventually start to happen, again, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, she's gonna realize this guy wants to fuck me so bad, although I'm not fucking him, but he wants to fuck me so bad, I can control him. I can tell him something I don't like and we won't do it. I can tell him that I prefer this and we'll do that thing. So she will instantly know she is in the lead position, she's running the show. So you have to charge her for that reason, right? So let's break this down again. So if I met a girl for a drink, now I'm assuming the first date, okay, and she's not willing to come straight to my house for the second date. See, this is what you guys got to do. Okay, okay. guys, you have to be honest with yourself and you have to be honest with these women. Okay, let me explain what I mean. If you already know beforehand that you desire to have sex with a woman no later than the second time you meet up or by the second date, the first date, on the first date is when you need to convey that to her. Here's the thing. It makes no sense to offer a second date where you're trying to have a woman come to your house if you haven't ascertained that she's even feeling you like that on the first date. Right? So again, if you know for a fact that by the second date, I'm trying to smash, on the first date, that's where you need to start flirting. That's where you need to start building sexual attention to see if she's even feeling you like that. Because if she is, okay, now you can say that shit. You know what I'm saying? About, hey, well, look, let's do this again next week, but this time we're coming back to my house for some fun. Okay, however you want to say it, however you want to convey it verbally, right? But let her know, look, here's the thing. I'll put it to you this way. I'm going to simplify it. If you guys would just start setting women's expectations, let them know what they're in store for. Let them know what you would like to go down or what you have planned for both of you. Let them know. Set their expectations. The problem with a lot of guys is guys just assume shit. Just because a woman is entertaining you, just because she's going out, meeting you places or whatever, just because she's friendly, pleasant, and the conversation is chill and all that, guys just assume, right? Just because you want to fuck don't mean she want to, right? So before you even bring up sex, kind of get that feeling for whether or not shorty is even leaning in that direction, right? Right? Now, I mean, if you got some game about yourself, you can start talking about sex and maybe get her to thinking about it, right? Because look, it don't take women forever to, look, women already know when they very first meet you whether or not you are a guy they would consider having sex with. They already know this. It don't take a woman 2, 3, 4 dates to figure out whether or not she desires you sexually. It don't take them that long. Now, they might take them that long to actually fuck you, but it don't take them that long to think about it, for it to pop into their head whether or not you look like a guy or you conduct yourself like a guy they may want to have sex with. Guys just take too long getting to the point. Again, if you're mainly motivated to have sex with women, they should know that as soon as possible so you don't waste your time or hers. All right, so let's move on. Okay, we already did that one. Okay, we already did that one. Let's look at this. He says, is it possible to have my ego work for me? I've noticed my ego used to be a disservice to me in the past, but I never understood how to have my ego work for me. Okay, let's look up ego. Let's break that down. So guys can understand, right? I think there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to ego, right? Okay, hold on, give me a second. There we go, right there. Where's it at? I just saw the shit. Okay. All right. Ego is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance, right? The problem with some guys, women too, everybody's guilty of this. The problem with some of us is your ego is too big, okay? You believe you more important than what you really are, right? But we all should have a sense of self-esteem and self-importance, right? So I'll give you an example of somebody who's too egotistical. If a woman rejecting you angers you, you're egotistical. You're too egotistical. You think you're too important. You think you're so good that a woman can't tell you no. Like, I've literally heard of women being physically assaulted by men. I mean, some of y'all have heard it too. Look, there was one time in a club where this guy was trying to hit on this woman and she told him she wasn't interested. He picked her up and body slammed her, right? There was another time, this woman that I used to date, she told me this story of how she was walking down the street or whatever, and these youngsters, like, she was grown, at the time she was in her 20s. These kids are like middle school age, right? They were trying to get at her. right? And they thought she was young because she looked young and she was short, like 4'11". So they thought she was young like them, right? But she was a grown woman. So she said, no, I'm not interested. So these guys, these little kids, middle schoolers, they started throwing pennies at her and nickels and shit. They just started trying to hurt her, right? Because they was mad because she said no, right? See, that's that egotistical shit where you think you're too good. So you do have to check your ego, right? You should never take it personal when women reject you, okay? Even when women are rude, the best thing you can do is just walk away. See, guys, they want to check a chick, right? Just walk away. Just walk away. Because if you're in public, like let's say you're at a bar, club, lounge, or wherever, and you start arguing with that chick, every other woman in that spot that you probably could have met and talked to will immediately lose any interest for dealing with you at all because you over here arguing in public with a chick. That's the fastest way to get chicks to be like, can't fuck with him, you know what I'm saying, because you're doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? So just understand that. All right, let's see here. All right, hold on real quick. Okay, there we go. So the homie says, have you experienced when a woman, when the moment you flirt and use sexual innuendo at women, their body language and their interaction shuts down? Because they're not, look, let me tell y'all something. Okay, and I've said this, the quickest way to find out if a woman has already made up her mind whether or not she potentially views you sexually, bring up sex and see what happens. Bring up sex and see what happens. See, if you bring up sex to a woman who views you sexually, you're not going to get no pushback. Exceptions aside, you might have some women that are like playful with it and shit like that. But oftentimes, you're not going to get no pushback because you're talking to a woman about sex who's already looked at you and said, he's a guy I could potentially want to fuck. So she's not offended that you're bringing up sex, right? Bring up sex to a woman who does not view you sexually at all. One or two things are going to typically happen. Okay? One of three things typically will happen. Now, if you have a woman who, although she is not sexually attracted to you, she's not offended, because you will have women who are not offended, even when they don't want to fuck you. So if a woman is not offended, she might kind of laugh it off and just tell you, no, buddy, that's not going to happen. I don't see you that way. Nice try, though, right? So she might be playful with it, but she's telling you it ain't going to happen. You're either going to get that, or you're going to get a chick that's going to curse you the fuck out. Who the fuck you think you talking to? I ain't no hoe. No. So you might have women that might do that, right? And this, right here, what he's saying right here, where they just get quiet. They stop talking, right? Because they're not interested in you in that way. They don't even want to entertain that shit with you, right? See, this is how you know that women pretty much make up their mind right away, whether or not they view you sexually. Because see, this is what happens. I'll break it down in 3 categories, right? So when you very first meet women, normally women know within the first several seconds, first couple minutes, right? Exceptions aside, normally first several seconds, first couple minutes, they know, right? So typically one of 3 things is going to happen, right? Walk up to a woman, she's either going to reject you outright, right? And this is what you want. See, if a woman is rejecting you outright, she's just telling you, nope, not interested at all. Okay. Not only is she telling you, we ain't fucking, but she's also telling you, I don't even have an interest in using you for dates. I don't even want that shit from you either. I don't want nothing to do with you, right? That's what you want, right? So the second thing that will happen would be, you might get a woman that's down to fuck, right? Because she's already looked at you. Y'all started talking. She's feeling what you're saying. She's like, yeah, he can get it, right? So she's already there, right? The third thing is, you will have a woman, she might say to herself, I'm curious. See, I refer to it as tepid. And I got a story that is going to illustrate what I mean by tepid. Tepid sexual interest. If you think about tepid is like lukewarm. It's not hot, it's not cold, right? So a woman who has tepid sexual interest, she might say to herself, I don't know. See, she's on the fence. It's not a no, it's not a yes. She's like, I need to know more. I need to know more before I either say yes to fucking them or no to fucking them, right? So I got a client. A client was telling me right? I was gonna do a video breaking this shit down, but a client was telling me that he met this woman at his place of employment. Now, the woman was a customer, or she was a customer, and that's a whole nother thing. When you guys are hitting on these customers, you better be mindful of what you say. Don't say nothing sexual to no customers. You know what I'm saying? And you can get at them if you want, but don't say nothing sexual. And it will behoove you never to try and get at customers around people that you work with that don't like you. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to dime you out, and they might even exaggerate or embellish what you were saying, right? So just be mindful of your surroundings before you get at these females who are customers, right? So he met this customer. He gave her his number, right? Because he's a true student of the game. He gave her his number, right? So she calls him up, and he invites her over to his crib right away, right? Which is, that's what I'm about. I'm about that. You know what I'm saying? So he invites her to the crib. No. Let me back up. I'm moving too fast. She calls up, and she asked him about his living situation. Okay, he invited her to the crib after that. But she asked about his living situation, which a lot of times when women you just met are asking you about your living situation, it doesn't always mean they want to fuck, but oftentimes it does. You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to figure out, do you have a place that you guys can fuck if they wanted to, right? So sometimes it does mean that, not all the time, right? So again, so she asked him, what is your living situation? He told her, I have a roommate, but I have my own room. So then he goes on to tell her, you know, why don't you come over? See, this is what he said. When he said this shit, I was like, yes, right? So he said, why don't you come over so I can put you in your favorite sexual positions that makes your pussy the wettest. Hey, this is what he told her, right? Shout out to that brother. You know who you are. I'm going to say your name. Shout out to you for saying that shit, right? So when he said that to her, this is what she said. Oh, really? She said, oh, really now? So he was like, yeah. So then she did this. She said, send me a dick pic, right? I need y'all to pay attention to what was going on in that encounter. This is a woman that has tepid sexual interest. So when I tell you guys, sometimes women are on the fence and they're like, I need to know more. That was her. That's why she was asking those series of questions. She was trying to, I need to know more before I decide whether or not I'm going to have sex with him or not. So when he said, you know, I got a roommate, but I got my own room, you ain't got to worry about that. She was cool with that. When he said, why don't you come over so I can put you in your favorite positions and get your pussy the wettest, she was like, that made her curious. She went, oh, really now, right? So then she's like, okay, send me a dick pic, because that was probably going to be the final thing that made her say yay or nay, right? So he told her no. He said, if you want to see this shit, you got to come see this shit in person. And then that was the last time he talked to her. She was not interested in fucking him after that, right? Because the dick pic probably would have been, depending on how she felt about it, that probably would have been the thing that made her say, I'm on my way, right? But shout out to him for not sending that dick pic. Let me just say this. Gentlemen, number one, you never send an unsolicited dick pic to a woman you just met. Never do that, right? But also, when you are meeting women for the first time and they're asking for dick pics, tell them no. Number one, you don't know what she's going to do with that shit. You don't know where it might end up. But two, don't play yourself like that. You know what I'm saying? If a chick want to see your shit, like I literally talked, because a chick asked me for a dick pic one time, and I said, look, let me tell you something. I said, the very first time you see this dick, you're going to be holding it in your hands on your knees. You ain't going to see it through no fucking picture, right? So then that was that. Now, we did end up fucking, but my point is, I told her, no, I'm not sending no fucking dick pic to you, okay? The only time you should even consider that is like your girlfriend or some shit. You know what I'm saying? A chick you've been dealing with for a while, and there's some semblance of trust. But just sending a bitch a dick pic, man, hell no. Hell fucking no. You know? Hell fucking no. You want to see this motherfucker? Come see it live and in person. It looks better in person than it does in the picture. All right, so anyway, oh, that shit tripped me out. But shout out to that brother, because the woman, she had some interest sexually, but see, if she had strong sexual interest in him, like lust, if she was like really, really wanting to have sex with him, he wouldn't have had to do all of that. Okay. The moment he said, bring your ass over here so I can put you in your favorite sexual position that get your pussy the wettest, she would have been like, I'm on my way. She would have been like, oh shit, I'm on my way. Right? But the fact that she kept asking more and more questions, her interest was tepid, lukewarm. So just understand that, right? And look, and here's the thing about her asking all them fucking questions. Here's the thing about women asking you questions, period. Even like on first dates and whatnot. You have to ask yourself, these questions that she's asking me, are these curiosity questions? Ain't nothing wrong with women being curious. Are they curiosity questions? And are these questions pertinent to what we're about to do? Do these questions even fucking matter? Like an example would be, let's say I met a young lady and we at a bar, we talking, and she started asking me, so do you have any brothers? I'm not gonna want to talk about all that. Because if I answer that question, what's gonna come next is, so where you from? So, did you grow up with both your parents? There is no need for us to have none of those discussions right now. Now, later on down the road, you might find out all that information. It's need to know, but I'm not gonna be answering all them fucking questions unless the questions are pertinent and they're curiosity questions. Like, you're just curious, fuck it, I'll answer it. You know what I'm saying? Like if a chick asks you, so what do you do for work? And let's say you say, I deal with pharmacy or I work in collections or whatever the fuck, right? Now, if she starts asking you, so what's your exact job title? See, now you got a problem. Because a woman asking you what you do for work, that could be labeled as a curiosity question. But if she's asking for your job title, what company do you work for exactly? See, now she's asking shit she don't need to know about, right? So just be mindful. Are the questions pertinent to the situation at hand? Is she curious or is she fucking nosy? You know what I'm saying? Or is she trying to qualify you, right? She's trying to see if you're worth dealing with, right? Because a lot of times when women are not sexually attracted to you, but they might want to utilize you for other things, where you work, what you do for a living, it might matter to them because that's going to show them whether or not you got some money. So just be mindful of that. And don't be answering them fucking questions. Again, unless it makes sense to answer it. If it don't make sense, don't be like, girl, you don't need to know all that. And don't be afraid to tell chicks, hey, look, let me tell you something. Stop being nosy. Oh, I just want to know. No. I said, look, and you got to tell chicks, look, if you really want to fuck with me, you're going to learn all of that in due time. You're not going to know all that shit in one night, girl. Chill, pace yourself. Stop asking all them fucking questions. And sometimes you got to stop asking all them fucking questions. Just like that. Like, come on, man. Don't do that. Don't play with me like that. With your nosy ass. You know what I'm saying? And look, sometimes you got to tell women that too. Man, you nosy as hell. What's up with you? Don't be afraid to talk to women you just met 5 minutes ago like that. Man, you nosy as hell. What's up with you? Why are you so nosy? You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. Don't be afraid to talk to women like that. But see, dudes like, man, I don't want to upset her. I don't want to offend her. Man, fuck all that. She offended me with all these nosy ass questions. Let me stop playing. All right, so hold on. Let me see. Okay. So Richard says, so you're teaching us how to analyze the situation so we can create the best answer for us. Well, the best answer is you. Okay. See, when we talk about analyzing shit, I mean, that's part of it. Part of it is just you paying attention to mannerisms, body language, and all the other type of shit. But you create that. You literally create. Look, depending on what you say to women, you can create her. You can not create her, but you can create a situation where her body language is shifting because of what you said, where her mannerisms are shifting because of what you said. So you can create that situation based on what you're saying and how you're behaving. You can create it, right? So oftentimes the problem with a lot of guys, you sit back and you take cues from the woman, right? This is why, guy, you temper your words. Temper your words mean you're very careful with what you say, right? So a lot of times the situation that's going on is really the woman leading the situation, because this is what happens. A lot of times when women ask you a bunch of fucking questions, it's because you're not doing anything. You're not leading. you're not dictating the pace and the flow of the interaction. So the woman feels like, man, I gotta ask this guy questions because he's not really doing anything. Because a lot of times women are waiting for you to lead them from this place to this place. But when you're very indirect and you have all this vague, ambiguous talk about, so where are you from? So, do you come here often? Are you from here? Where did you grow up? And some women will answer those questions, but they still want you to get to the point because women know this motherfucker approached me for a reason. He did not approach me because he gives a fuck about what I majored and minored in when I was in college. He don't really give a fuck about that. There's another reason why he's talking to me, and I need for him to get to that point. Right? So anyway, man, let's move on to the next question. AJ Leno says, what about situations when a chick is making out with you, hand jobs and all that, but still won't smash? Is that still friend zoning or something else because there's some sort of sexual attraction? Well, here's the thing. Let me put it this way. Let's say, for the sake of argument, I meet a young lady, I give her the number, I let her know what I'm interested in, and let's say she says, oh, I'm interested, I'm curious about that, but not tonight, maybe some other time, right? So let's say, boom, we end up linking up a few days, a week later or whatever, she comes to the crib, and she tells me straight up, look, I don't want to have sex today, but I'll suck your dick. Now, depending on how I feel in that moment, I'll be like, all right, cool. Let her do that. But what I'm going to tell her is, hey, but the next time we link up, though, we need to be fucking. So if she's doing some type of sexual act and all that, I'm not super picky that it's necessarily gotta be sex. All I need to really know is there sexual interest or not. Okay, are we mutually sexually attracted to each other? That I do need to know that, right? But her reason for not having sex, it could be a couple of reasons. It could be she on her period, she just don't want to say because she's embarrassed about that shit. It could be whatever. Like I'll go back to the young lady that met me at the spot but couldn't stay because she started her period. Chances are she probably wanted to have sex that night. You know what I'm saying? But because she was on her period, she says, let me invite this man and invite this man to my house, cook him a home cooked meal. And so let me just say something about that. See, what was so cool about that is I didn't say nothing about sex. I didn't say a motherfucking thing about sex. When she invited me to her crib for dinner, I was cool with not even fucking that night. Now, if I would have saw her again, we would have had to fuck. But I was cool with the possibility of not even having sex, right? Right. But I already knew though. I already knew that she was sexually attracted to me. I already knew it, right? And it wasn't because we talked about sex. It wasn't because she said anything specific about sex. I just knew she was feeling me that way. I just knew it, right? And this just comes from me dealing with a bunch of fucking women. I can just tell, right? So when I went over there, at first she had on regular clothes. She said, I'll be right back. She went and changed into like a real tight shirt with no bra on and some fucking boy shorts or some real tight ass shorts with no panties on. So when she came out with that shit on, I'm like, yeah, it's about to be on and popping out this motherfucker. So she started talking about, hey, let's play this game right quick. So she asked me, what do I get if I win? And I said, what do you want? And she says, I want you to remove some of your clothes and get comfortable like I'm comfortable. And so when she said that, I'm like, it's on and popping, right? So I already knew. But anyway, that's just me though, man. If you guys, but this is what I would say, AJ Lynn, this is what I would say. If you guys talk about sex, like if you talk about having sex, if she consents to sex and then she changes her mind when she gets there, you might want to know why. You know what I'm saying? Did she change her mind because she getting over some fucking STD and shit and that shit ain't cleared up yet? You know what I'm saying? Which y'all got to start doing that too. Ask chicks how often do they get tested. There's nothing wrong with asking that. I've asked women that, not all the time. I've been inconsistent about asking that, but I've asked women that. And last time you got tested. And if they say, oh, it's been a while. Have you ever contracted something? You ever had an STD? Most of the time they say no. There was one time where a woman admitted that she did. And I was like, I ain't fucking you. Thank you for answering the question. Love you, the highest. All right, Rickster, appreciate that. All right, gentlemen, I'm about to go, man. I got some shit I got to do. I got an errand that I should have ran before I did this live stream, but I'm putting myself behind the 8 ball by waiting so long to do this shit. So I got to do this shit this afternoon. I appreciate y'all coming through. Everyone that came through with the super chats. I think I got some, what do you call it? Cash apps. So for those of you who sent that, shout out to y'all. Gentlemen, again, what's the title of the joint? Why a woman liking you does not equate to sexual attraction. Every single guy that's in a friend zone, you're there because the woman likes you. She likes your personality, and she doesn't want to lose contact with you because you're fun. I mean, you make her laugh. You listen to all her fucking problems. You provide a comforting shoulder. I can't even talk. Shoulder to lean on. So she likes you. She likes you for that reason. Like, man, he's so cool. He's so easy to talk to. He's a great listener. He gives great advice. I'm going to keep him around as a friend. I really like this guy. Then she'll have sex with a dude that would talk to her crazy. Hey, chick, why you being all fucking nosy? Stop asking them fucking questions. Bring your ass over here. Okay. You'll have sex with him. He'll put you in the friend zone. That's it. That's all. I'm out. Like the video. Thank y'all for coming through. Thank y'all for fucking with me. Appreciate y'all. Real Game No Theory tomorrow, by the way. Peace.